Okay, welcome back. This is our second episode of today. Actually, it might be the third. I've lost track. It's been a nice, long, fun day. This will be the last one of the day, though, and I'll probably schedule it to come out overnight or in the morning, something like that. We really want to focus this episode on something that I did a while back, and then somehow that episode got lost in internet space. And that's really going to be focusing on how all of the systems work together, the importance of digging, cooking, and even making ground bait to a degree. But we're focused more on this one on leveling up your harvesting baits and cooking. And you want to be doing this even from the beginning, even early on, as soon as you can afford a couple things. Those couple things are your shovel. And we purchased this somewhere. If you go back and you see the order of videos that I made, I think it was somewhere between the 5th and 6th or 6th and 7th video. And right in there was another episode that just didn't get uploaded. And then at that same time, I purchased this tea kettle. Both of them can be purchased at the what's it called? We'll go by there later, but it's right next to the. Let's just go look right now. I do want to do some fishing this episode, of course. In fact, we'll get some rods in the water as soon as I show you this. We'll go back, get some rods in the water, and then we're going to do some crafting because part of so it's a hardware store. So tea kettle and shovel are both sold here. 19.9 for the tea kettle, 38 silver for the shovel. I think this is what you need to make coffee, which we will do that before too long as well. But those are three early things you need. The other thing you need to have is a couple of firewood and some matches to start the fire. A lot of this other stuff is used for creating lures, which if we look at that in this series, it'll be down the line. All right, so once you have the tea kettle and the wood and matches so that you can make fire, and once you have the shovel so that you can dig, those things in particular start to work together. Now, if you notice right now, for cooking, I'm 5.9, and for harvesting baits, I'm 20.6. Well, when I first purchased this shovel, we were at maybe 1% harvesting baits, because all we had done at that point is made a few pieces of bread. And when I first bought the shovel and the tea kettle, I was at 0% cooking. And so the reason why you want to start shoveling as soon as you can is because it does level up your harvesting baits. So now we're up to 20.8 because of digging there. And you see we'll still be getting points well into our 20s. I think it's even possible past that into your 30s and maybe beyond. Just the chances go down, I think, more and more as you get higher level. But after shoveling, you just see that bottom left part of the screen, my energy just went down to 0 or almost 0. And that's where the cooking comes in. To make hot tea, you need the kettle, and then from the grocery store, you can get a pack of tea. And then you can go through that somewhat screeching noise of making a thermos of tea. Now, this thermos will give you 6 drinks from it. But now that I can drink tea, I will gain my energy back faster, allowing me thus to be able to then use the shovel again faster. Okay, so let's get some rods in the water while we're crafting, though. So let's go with a 14 hook, and I do want to try pearl barley over here. No idea how it will go, but now that we have pearl barley, we want to try it. We know this spot has been very hot with the normal baits we've been using, so we can go back to those if we need to. But I also want to try the 2 new baits we've made. One being pearl barley. Did I really forget to put ground bait? No, it shows it's on there. Okay, I did put ground bait on that one. Good. Oh, I need to switch these back to our normal feeders. I'll have to remember to do that. And on this one, let's do 14, but let's try oatmeal. Let us try oatmeal. Now, some of these baits may work okay at mosquito. Some of them may not be as desirable until we get to Old Berg. But it's worth trying. You know, bait's effectiveness change over time. Sometimes pearl barley is a tremendous bait for bream. Sometimes it works really well on common roaches, even. Sometimes it works for white bream, the small bream variety, which don't seem to be biting at all for the most part at mosquito, but we did find a spot at Winding Rivulet where they were okay. So, okay, so we've got bread, we're trying oatmeal, and we've got pearl barley in. Let's see how those do. Because of that tea we drank, we're back up to the point of being able to shovel. So we just want to keep shoveling. Now, this fire will stay lit for a while. Maybe half of an in-game day or so. I haven't timed it exactly. It seems like it's quite a while though. So if we've got a fish on, we want to come catch the fish, and then we'll go back. So far, pearl barley has been catching gibble carp. I will say so far it's been small gibbles, but we'll keep an eye on it. Here's our first fish on oatmeal. Also a gibble. It seems as though this spot, the gibbles just won't stop. Now on bread, we have a large crucian, it looks like. So we'll see how it goes, but it seems like nothing can beat bread in this spot right now, at least of the baits that we have. Bread has been so good, during the day especially. And at night, bread and worms and maggots have all been good. All right, let's, we can't shovel again yet. Let's make some more tea. So you really want to do this. I like making mostly tea early on when I'm cooking, tea and then coffee. And you can mix in some foods as well. I think we used all of our potatoes, or I would cook some potato. I would rather cook the drinks early and then just like purchase cheap sausages and stuff. But that's just kind of personally how I approach it. You can always make some of the early foods as well if you so desire. All right, let's see if the pearl barley is getting a little bigger fish yet. That is a marker crucian. We'll try a little bit longer, and then in this spot, I'd say it's looking like maybe just switching to bread might be better. Another very small gibble on oatmeal. But again, we'll try it a little longer just so that we get a good feel for it. All right, there's something a little bigger on oatmeal. Yeah, that was nice. Nice crucian. I think we can make one more thing of tea. Yeah, we don't have any potatoes left. So we're up to 7.9. You can continue to get points for making tea and then coffee. See, you do have to have the sezva to make the coffee, which we haven't purchased yet. Hot cocoa. We could get a package of cocoa powder and condensed milk and make that. Probably be worth doing that too. You can stack drinks on top of each other and get points even faster. You can purchase eggs from Winding Rivulet, the farmer's market around back. Same place you get the potatoes. Those are pretty good to make. Sausages. I forget you can do this. We can actually turn those sausages we buy into sausage on a stick. I don't know if the basic sausages or the sausage on the stick give you better food, but we're leveling up our cooking while we're making these, so it's probably worth it to do that. So we're up to 8.9. We still have 7 more. Let's go check our lines. So it's pretty cool. Pearl barley. I have not been impressed with the size of the fish that we've caught on pearl barley. I'll try one more and then we're going to save the rest of our pearl barley for another spot or another time. Once it gets to be evening, we're going to try to catch some bream on our pearl barley. There's another roach on bread. Bread has not disappointed. Bread seems to be very good. Alright, what is this? It's actually a pretty good fish on pearl barley. But it'd be hard to argue after seeing several fish that pearl barley is doing any better than bread. Here is bread again. Nice crucian. Very nice crucian. Then I think we want to move the oatmeal, at least in this spot, we want to move it to worms, probably. Do 2 bread, 1 worms, maybe. There's a red worm and another point. Man, this spot is on fire, isn't it? Well, if I'm really saving for that pro feeder set, all we're wanting to do is keep making money. All right, we've made all the tea we can. So the cucumbers that we can now make, I think we can make without a fire. I don't remember where you make them though. Let's finish these sausages off. Egg sausage is also eggs is also a nice thing to make early on if you're trying to make real food. Let's see. Let me figure out where cucumbers are. Macaroon. So this one just got opened. Pack of noodles. I assume you purchase. Salt. You definitely purchase. We don't have a cooking pot yet. Another tool we'd have to get. But it's kind of cool. Like you can really make a lot of different foods now. Still getting points on digging. So good. Every point you get on digging saves you money from having to craft, you know, thousands of pieces of a certain bait as you're wanting to level up harvesting baits. All right, let's switch that. Switch that oatmeal over. Wait, is that? That's ghost snagged, I guess. Ooh. Yeah, that is very disappointing. Okay. Oh shoot, about to pop it myself. All right, if we don't get a fish on, we're not going to get that unsnagged. So, and it may not be able to catch a fish. All right, let's see. Okay, it's not in the brazier. Is it in the smokehouse? That doesn't make sense, does it? Maybe that is the... Yeah, so cucumber must be one that you can just cook without... Yeah, freshly picked cucumbers. So if you have salt and you buy the cucumbers, you can make cucumbers that way. Another way to level up cooking. It's very nice. Okay, so we're going to have to relog, which is fine. We'll just keep going with this episode, and I'll just relog. Let me see what... There was something I wanted to check real quick. So that's the first time I've seen that snag here. That is disappointing. All right, so let's relog real quick. I'll be right back. I want to try a spot. I'm not sure if it's still super active, but oatmeal was specifically mentioned in describing this spot. So let's try it. And then once it gets to be nighttime, we're going to go try that Bream spot again that's on the other side of the lake from where we are now. Because since we have pearl barley now... Oh, look, the fire is still going. That's OP. That's awesome. And it is raining, so we might have to get some comfort back up if it gets too low. If we want to be able to still dig. All right, so we're headed to 3755, which is just around the corner here. We're almost there, in fact. Okay, so we're gonna do something a little interesting here. We're gonna do crucian, gibble, ground bait. We're gonna do the opposite of that, the largest hook we have, and we're gonna put potatoes on. Okay, so this is a little scary, but let's do just a little short. I bet it's supposed to just be right in front of us here. How far does 3755 go? Yeah, not too far. So if it was like over at the lilies, you would think it'd be at that spot, right? So let's just cast right in front of us here. That was a little closer than I intended. Let's do just like a 6-meter clip. But this is where we want to try oatmeal. And we just want to see what's going on here. That's probably more where we wanted to cast. Let's try 75, see how it looks. Just kind of right out in front of us. Okay, so oatmeal did get a pretty quick bite. Our float is also getting a pretty quick bite. I want to recast that first line in just a second here. But I thought it'd be worthwhile to try a different spot that I haven't shown yet in this series. Don't know how active it still is, but let's give it a go. Longest nibble ever. That was a long time to wait. Alright. I'm also wondering, like, again, you would think it would be this spot. Like, 38.56 would be more for throwing into that, but I think those have been good before, so I'm going to do this one. Let's clip it 6, and let's go just to the right of those weeds over there. Just give that a little bit of time. I'd say oatmeal is being a little slow for my taste, even in this spot. But I'm just wondering if, since oatmeal was listed for this spot, you know, I was curious if, like, maybe folks were catching larger crucians and gibbles on it. Yep, float fishing's going okay here, though. But at first glance, this spot doesn't seem as good as our other two spots. Anytime I see lilies, that's what I want to throw at typically. It's like, come on now. Oh, we're getting a nibble on our potato. The most likely thing that we're going to catch on potatoes is common carp, which can be scary with this gear. I think with our next upgrade in gear, we're going to be a little more comfortable trying to get the carp, but I figured we'd live on the edge a little bit here. That was a mistake. We'll never get that comfort back, energy back till we get our comfort up. Most likely. This spot does seem to be active in the sense that, you know, with bread especially, we've gotten bites putting it right out there pretty quick. That fish is on. A little gibble. Is that fish on? Yeah. Alright. Let's see what we've gotten ourselves into here. Oh. A gibble on potatoes, folks. And nothing nibbled on the bread over here. Okay. So, let's do some more experimenting. So our comfort did go back up with the tea. I wasn't sure if in rain if tea would help much on comfort. Usually it's alcohol that you have to go to, but maybe it helps a little bit. Standing next to this fire should help if I remember correctly. Is our comfort going up? I don't think so. I think it's still going down. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly. I don't know. We always, back in the day, we always used to think like, okay, eventually they're going to put like rain gear in the game that you can purchase so that you didn't lose comfort or didn't lose it as quickly maybe. But that has not happened, at least to this point. So let's see. We got a couple silly cafe orders. All right. Okay. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? Yeah, let's we'll go ahead and get them in one time, and then I want to go look at hooks really quick. Okay. So we want, yeah, let's keep our 11 on there for now. We want fake Bream with, this is where pearl barley is going to get tested. Let's put our regular feeder back on. And, you know, I think I want to go, let's go 25. I don't think we quite went that far. Maybe we ought to set it for 20. Um, 12 pearl barley, fake bream. Let's see if 20 works. Just kind of right out here. See if that goes 20. Ah, not quite. Oh yeah, it was, because you could see it was tight when I pulled it, when I stepped back a little bit. And then I actually think worm is probably going to work here as well. And once we get dialed in, we may compare worm and pearl barley on our first two lines. But I want to see if we can get some hooks, some bream size hooks. The idea here is, can we catch some decent bream here at Mosquito? All right, first fish on pearl barley here is a very small bream. So hopefully those will get bigger. It's not quite bream time yet. Oh, that was 25 meters. I didn't change that one back to 20, but that's okay. We'll see. Is that fish on? Oh, totally. All right, and this is also on pearl barley. If it's catching bream now, then that's a good sign. Hopefully it will still catch them once it hits nighttime. That's a roach, though. That's fine. It's a nice roach. All right, this should just go 20. So when we get back from looking at hooks, we'll see 20 versus 25 if there's a difference. And this is on worm. I think this will also catch bream here at Mosquito, but it might be interesting to try red worm as well. It's also possible that if we put a really small hook on this one, that's what let's try. Let's just really try some different things. Let's put the small hook with worm and regular ground bait, and let's see if we get rough here, because that would be pretty cool too. And if there's white bream in the water. So we've kind of got our bases covered. Let's just do some experimentation here. All right, are we going to worry about our energy? I guess not. We got past pearl barley, so we can chill a little bit on sweating how much we dig. All right. These are like some basic hooks that are supposed to be good for small carp, I guess. Or certain types of carp. Ten would be more versatile for us at this point, right? But 8 would be kind of hitting the nail on the head with bream. I want to try a couple of these hooks. I don't think I've ever used these hooks before. let's see how they do. So we're going to go pearl barley versus worm. But first we need to figure out the spot, if 25 or 20 looks better. Let's see if we have an answer here. Alright, this one is the one at 20 with pearl barley. Alright, that is a bream. So I think 20 is going to work fine. Let's keep, alright, size 8 hook, and let's keep pearl barley on this one. We want to aim just left of where camp is there. Alright, and this is 25. Which also seems like a really solid bream. Okay. Wow. Yep, that is a bream. Awesome. A very nice one. Alright, so we're going to put the 8 on this one as well. We're going to go with worm on this one. It still has the bream mix. And let's back it down to 20, although let's remember how good that one was at 25. We may want to switch back to 25. Alright, let's get this third rod in, and quite honestly, I have got to do a quick bio break, and then I will come back and hopefully we'll have fish on. Alright, is that a rough? Beautiful. Alright, so we're not stressing by catching 1 kilo bream on this tiny setup and just like taking forever to get them in. We're just going to catch some rough. That's nice. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Let's see how good this spot is. Alright, so this is on worm. I feel like the pearl barley might be a little more dialed in. This is perch here. Probably not going to catch as much perch on pearl barley as we are on the worm, but let's keep them both in for just a little bit here. Alright, what do we get on pearl barley? The question is, what do we catch besides bream on pearl barley in this spot? Maybe nothing, I don't know. And if that's the case, then we might just be better off going full pearl barley on both of these lines. But I know that worm has been working okay on bream here at Mosquito, so that's the question. We also could try red worm if we become dissatisfied with regular worm. But quite honestly, I don't mind catching these roach here because they've been nice sized marker roach, where some of the bream here are going to be undersized, even in during like ideal bream time. That might still be the case at Mosquito, I don't know. What I would love to see is the white bream start to come in again. But I'm just not sure that's going to happen right now. I cast it way short this time. We know that there's rough all over the place in this place, so I don't know that we even need to go to the full depth for the rough. Alright, so far, it's looking to me like pearl barley. Like if we were trying to hit a bream order, probably pearl barley. Not saying the bream won't come in on worm, but they're coming in much higher rate. We're getting a lot of roach and other stuff on the worm, of course. But if the bream are slow, at least the worm's catching other stuff as well. So it's just good information to have. When I switch off the worm, though, I'm going to switch to red worm first, I think. So far, these size 8 hooks seem to be working, though. There's pearl barley again. Ooh, yes. As long as it's not a common or something. And we've got another fish on too on the third line. That's a little tiny hook and worm, and something is just stealing line right now. Like fast. Alright, this is a nice bream though. 1.9 kilo bream. That is awesome. Good silver here at Mosquito. Alright, the fish chilled a little bit, whatever it is. Oh, that's weird. What hook do we have on? Hopefully it's not the cheapest of hooks. It's probably a bream. Yep. Tiny hook still catches the bream. Wow. And that was on worm, and that was not a very far cast. So that's interesting. 20 clip might be more than you have to do for this spot. I figured, oh, nope, goodness, I screwed that up. Okay. I figured there had been a fish just sitting on there for a while. I was like, man, it's been a bit since we've had a bite on that line. Alright, we're going to try red worm. At least for a fish or two. Unless it's like really slow. Same spot, same ground bait, same size hook. Let's see what red worm does. I didn't cast that as far as I normally have been doing. Alright, red worm already has something on it. So that was quick. At least, whatever it is, it was quick. And and that's also a bream. This looks like a pretty decent little bream spot. Early indications. For mosquito, this is pretty decent. And it looks like you don't have to cast the full 20 meters, but 20 meter clip seems to be pretty good though. Holy cow, friction break. Is that a rough? Nice. I don't think there's a rough order, but still, it's good to know. Why is that moving? Huh. What? It's literally moving the line around, and you're saying there's not a fish on? Okay. Take your word for it. Alright, let's just test everything. First of all, this needs to be recast. That might need to be recast. I didn't make it all the way out there, so I don't want to waste time with a miscast, but... And Pearl Barley is still the winner! Oh no, it popped off. Did you see that? It literally popped off as we were reeling it. Alright, good. Woo! Alright, it's on Redworm again. So Redworm's kind of giving Pearl Barley a run for its money, I'd say. So I'm glad we ended up doing this on the video where we started off by talking about the importance of getting a shovel and an early level in digging. Because redworm's expensive to buy as a bait early on. In fact, it's out of stock here at Mosquito. You can get them at Winding still, but it's over 10 silver for the cheapest amount. But if you start digging at an early level, you'll have a lot of redworm just from the occasional dig. You'll get a lot of regular worms and then a little bit of redworms. And that'll get you started in this spot while you're waiting for your crafting to get high enough to use Pearl Barley. But the bottom line is, for me, I should just switch to Pearl Barley on both of these lines because Pearl Barley is working great and redworm is still a little scarce for me. Because I've been trying it out in so many spots. We need to catch one more roach, by the way. I mean, that's a 33 silver order. And let's see, 33 silver versus 10 silver. If we just get one more roach. But we might not catch the roach till daytime, I don't know. because it was worm that we were catching all those roach on, right? So once it gets to be morning, we want to switch at least 2 of these to worm. We've already got 1 on worm. I think there's a fish on the first line too. That's why that slack's in it, most likely. Hopefully it doesn't pop off. Yep, this has been pretty much all night. Once it got to be bream time, pretty much been a high percentage of markers. It's been great. Alright, we're going to switch redworm off to pearl barley for the rest of bream time. Even though redworm seems terrific, pearl barley is very cheap for us to make now, and we need to be making lots of it to level up bait crafting. Harvesting baits, yeah. I don't know, I felt like that was one of those that was going to like jump off. It's probably a little rough, right? We just want it to be a marker rough. Yeah. Those are decent silver. Especially anything over 100 grams on those rough. And remember, they often have those little bream orders for, you gotta catch 3 that are over a kilo. Well, we've way done more than that in just one little night here. And even without cafe order, 37 silver just for bream right now. It's terrific. Bream are a really good source of income early on. They are late too. I mean, bream are always a good source of income if it's a good enough bream spot. Really don't like the way that one's sitting. I guess it's just cast farther to the right than I'm used to. All 3 are getting nibbles, I think. Not quite a marker if it's a bream, I don't think. Yeah, I think 20 meters is good though. We had nice bream all night at 20 meters. Woo! Another one on pearl barley. That was a really nice one. Is that our biggest one yet? Yep. I don't know why, but it's bothering me so much I gotta recast it. That looks better. That looks much better. So glad we made a rush to get to pearl barley. Wow. So it's basically like going that way. It might still be okay up that far though. Fake bites drive me bananas. If you want to avoid catching like the really small bream at the end of bream time, then stop between like 6 and 7 a.m. You'll start getting more and more of them all the way up until like 9, but you still can catch the markers mixed in up until 8 or 9. It's just, it becomes more and more frustrating the later you get in the morning. Hey, guess what it is? A common roach. That might be, that's that roach order. Let's see if it's still up. There you go. Such a good deal for us to claim that real quick. Okay. Oh, pike order. I forget there's pike orders here at Mosquito. I bet not many people get that pike order done. Those are some big pikes. I mean, like, what are the weekly USA pikes? Oh, wait. No, I can't see mosquitoes. I always forget that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I bet they don't get that. I bet that order does not get filled very much. It's another roach. I like to see that this pearl barley is still catching nice roaches here in this spot. So we're starting to see the smaller ones mix in again. I think I'll go one more round here for bream and then assume that they're just going to get smaller and smaller. What we did not catch a ton of here were rough, even with this small hook. They have come in every once in a while, but the bream and other stuff have just been eating it up too fast, even with the tiny hook on. How small a hook did we put on there? 20? Yeah, that's really small for these bream that we've been catching. It just shows that you don't have to have 8 hooks to get the big bream, but I do feel like it increases your chances some. 10 might be more ideal here. I don't know. We got to wrap this one up soon. But this has been another really good fishing session. So glad we've came back and tried this bream spot again. Now that we have pearl barley, it's working much better. Perch are coming back in. $46 fish. And we've gotten several cafe orders done. Looks like the rain all night was good for the bream too. I mean, I'm telling you, like, even at Old Berg, remember, we really only had 2 lines set up to really catch bream. This would be an okay night, even at a good spot on Old Berg for bream. I mean, this was good. We just didn't get as many of the top end size. Nothing over, the top one was what, 2.4? But if we keep trying, we might get a 3+ kilo one out of this spot. We will certainly give it our best, though. Ooh, little lag spike there. I thought we were about to disconnect. Okay, that was some good fishing. And highlights well the importance of digging, cooking, and leveling up your harvesting baits. Yeah, we were getting there on the perch. If we kept fishing, we'd probably do that one too. White bream, MIA. Still MIA. Haven't figured them out yet. Wow, 80. That's nice. So we did over 100 this session with the cafe orders. Well over 100 because we did that really nice roach order. So look at these bream. And you know, again, oftentimes a good bream spot, you might get a few over this size as well, but they just add up. Such good silver. And we're up to 381. We do need to make some more pearl barley. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Tight lines.